I thought the opening of Sod's Law was really good because, as an audience member, I was attracted by the fact that the protagonist is the same age as the target audience. So yeah, I was attracted to that.
I saw Sod's Law and I thought it was a decent film. I liked the moments where it showed him trying to collect the coins from the floor, and also thought the way you added the black and white into the movie just fit in with the setting, and also the color of the clothes, it suited the film and it's what it connotated to the audience.
I think Sod's Law was very intriguing to watch, and the reason behind that is because the storyline was actually quite really effective. When I was watching the film, I felt very engaged within the audience, and the effect of the movie actually being black and white, it just sort of it creates the mood and the atmosphere within the audience. I think so. The voiceover was very clearly spoken. It also made you feel sympathetic towards the character during the scene, as a couple boys bumped into him, I think, when he dropped coins. So I think the voiceover was very effective. It created the atmosphere in the audience. It made the audience feel sympathetic towards the character, and I think that's about it.
Yeah, I felt like the voiceover made it really clear what the actual story was about, and it helped the audience understand what's going on in the opening of the film.
I believe that the narrative helped me understand what was going on in the film. It set the scene of what was going to start in the film, and it showed me what was happening in real life. Yeah, and it put it into a more narrative way in which to make it look better for the audience and make it more interesting for them to view. I'll consider watching the whole film because I wanted to see how your film would probably portray those who are homeless. Yeah, because I've seen homeless people on the street, and I think that what you showed me showed how it's portrayed in real life rather than what is shown on the big screen usually.
I was intrigued to see how the movie would end, because the way that he was treated in society, I would just like to know how he was treated further on in the film. Also, the effects that we used with camera work and editing, such as the black and white edit over the whole opening of the film, it really intrigued me to see what was going to happen next.
I would consider watching this movie because an effective build-up was made throughout the film. And also, I think that because not many films are based on homeless people, I think the idea of portraying a character who is homeless and a story of someone being homeless is quite unique, as it's not really been implemented throughout the film industry at the moment. So
I felt like the actor did a good job trying to portray the person, because when there were close-ups used to show the facial expressions of the character, it really showed how he was really engaged with the plot.
I've got a mixed opinion on the film. I like the acting, but there was some when he had a fresh trim, for example. Yeah, like a fresh haircut, and it kind of made the acting less convincing. But however, I think the acting skills portrayed were quite good, which made the film more interesting for me to view.
I think the character performed a satisfying role within the film. I think he could have been a bit more engaged within the storyline, because I feel as if the character wasn't really performing at its best personally. So I think if the character
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I believe so. Because I think that the way you set the scene in a typical UK high street, yeah, I think that made it more convincing, because that's what you tend to see when you're down in the real life high streets that you see in the UK, especially in Hounslow, for example. I also believe that your music it set the scene, and it gave me it showed me an emotional tone, and you felt for the man.
I felt like all of those four key areas were met because with mise en scène, it was set in a park, and that's typically where you would associate homeless people with because they have no other place to stay, so they usually just go to the park.
I agree with Gervais. I think the location of the film was very cleverly thought out. Sort of setting the film in a local high street is quite effective as, you see stereotypically homeless people within high streets. So I think that was very effective. I think the rest of the conventions that the socialism film had to meet, I think it met it good, but I think the costume of the character could have been improved a little bit because it didn't show the realism of the matter. So yeah.
So with this, I'm going to be showing you a survey that I sent out to a couple of friends, and I'm telling you what their answers were. So for the first question, which was, what were your thoughts about the opening of Sod's Law? The most common answer was, it has a very different theme. It's something I personally haven't seen myself, and will be intrigued to actually watch it in the film cinema. Did you understand the narrative speech? The most common answer was, yes, I thought the message from the voiceover was clear and effective. After watching the opening sequence of Sod's Law, would you consider watching the whole film? 70% said yes and 30% said no. Did you think the actor played the part of Nathan Smith well or not? And if so, why? A majority said yes because they felt that Nathan, the actor who played Nathan, was able to actually show and portray his emotions effectively, which goes alongside our themes of homelessness and drugs. Do you think sound editing, camera work and mise-en-scene were successful in our opening of Sod's Law? Yes, sound was very innovative. Editing was fast-paced and continuity was clearly clear. Mise-en-scene, they thought that the costume was very effective because it went well with our theme of homelessness and it was quite clear. Camera work was good because it used a range of shots from different angles, had a range of movements.